Hello, friends. Hello, YouTube world. Happy Friday. Happy mid-January already. So now we're flying through 2023, just like we flew through 2022. Thank goodness we flew through 2022. Many of you know that last couple of weeks, the end of the year, very beginning of the year, were not anything I would want to have to repeat. So thanks to everyone who's here today. I'm going to go over some fast channel stats after we visit with our first guest for today. Hey, Scott, how are you? So let me introduce you to Paul from Millionaire Paul, my YouTube journey. How are you? Oh, I can't. Let me unmute you. Your mic may be muted on your end.
Yeah, it was me. Oh, the old joking on mute.
We're good. I saw the little mute button and I thought it was something I had done. So welcome and happy New Year.
The answer is yes, I'm very, very well. Thank you very much. How are you, Catherine?
I'm good. And thank you for devoting a Friday evening to visiting with me and meeting my viewers.
You're very welcome.
So tell me,
we're at that age.
It's winter there, yes?
It most certainly is. Yes, it wasn't a bad day today. We hit 7, 8, 9 degrees.
Okay.
My wife and I got up this morning. We went to a walk at 6:30 this morning in the dark.
Okay.
Like
and any snow on the ground, or did you have a white Christmas?
No. I think there was a little tiny bit technically in Scotland over Christmas or something, but no, nothing here. So it's who was it the other day was saying to you that it doesn't really snow that often in England. It's not like Charles Dickens.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. A lot of times people think that in North Texas it snows a lot because there is a panhandle. The northwest part of Texas has a panhandle that goes up a lot farther than we are, and it does snow there. And I think a lot of people think that all of North Texas must get snow, but it's pretty rare. We usually get one good ice storm every winter, and we just wish for actual snow, like snow that you can make a snowman with, and we rarely get it.
I don't know how it is in your place, but here, when we were young, it used to snow. We'd all sort of carry on and work our way through it, and we've got to, strangely as a society, we've got to a point now when it snows, everything grinds to a halt, and the schools close.
Same here, yeah. But I guess that's kind of a good thing because it happens so rarely here that people, they don't know how to drive safely, and the electric infrastructure here can't manage the load of so many heaters running, and everybody's trying to stay warm and comfortable. Let me say some hellos to people in the chat. Hello, growing on Vancouver Island. I was really tickled to see some comments from you today on a couple.
Hello, Lisa.
So welcome to the channel. Scott with Rambling with the Brooms is here. Hi, Birdie Bus. How are you? Hello, Lisa Bakerman. This is a friend of mine. That's Bakeman, not Bakerman. I don't know why I always thought it said Bakerman. A friend of mine from Lawyer You Know, and P Hop, another friend of mine from Lawyer You Know. I'm glad you guys are here. We have with us today Paul from the YouTube channel Millionaire Paul, my YouTube journey. So where are you in England? Where are you in the UK?
Roughly in the middle of the UK, slightly to the west, in a county called Shropshire. It's not where I'm from, but it's where I've landed for the last few years.
Okay,
and so I'm from the Midlands.
That picture that I had up, the background screen when I first came in, I don't know what that is. I just found it, and I thought, well, that kind of looks like Big Ben or something. There.
It does a little, yeah. I can't quite see it on there. It looks a bit like London, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah. So I thought I like to find some sort of a backdrop that kind of relates to whoever my guest is. There is Adam Sky in the chat. He is another friend of mine from the UK. He's been a guest on the show.
I'm friends with Adam now.
Okay, sweet. And we have definitely, I consider him a real life friend of mine, even though we met here on YouTube and I've never been in the same room that he was in, except in a virtual sense. Hello, Vicki Lund. Hi, Dr. Lund. This is Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund. But if you're ready, I have some questions I like to ask. And the whole objective behind my interviews is just to allow people to get to know the content creator better. So beyond what you share in your videos, I know I enjoy knowing who people are. Who is this YouTuber? What do they do? What do they like? How do they sound? And So I've got some questions that I like to ask just so we can kind of pick your brain and get to know you a little bit better. And my first question is always, this is for everyone, after the chit chat of where are you and what's the weather like, what motivated you to start a YouTube channel?
Right. I know you always ask that as the first question, Kathy. So I'm kind of ready.
Okay, good. Oh, good. And hello, John Garner. There's John Garner, another one of my LYK family members. But what motivated you to start your channel?
I'm going to say something slightly different to everybody else. It was to try and make money, Kathy.
Okay, no.
That's not the whole story. That's only half the story, of course. Okay. I'm in the happy position whereby I can spend time doing things that I enjoy. And so the question was, can I take a social media channel on YouTube and get, with the help of the social media world, actually build a channel slowly to the point where it starts to gain traction and then actually makes £1 million or a lot of money, or how far will I get, really? Right. Obviously, now I know that's probably not going to happen. That's the project that I'm trying to do. So the other half of it is, like everybody else, yes, I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it, because I've got the time, because I thought that would be a fun thing to try and do. And I've never done social media before, apart from a Facebook. I've never done YouTube. I was watching YouTube more and more to learn how to do things. And during COVID, I was learning all about the virus and so on and so forth, and nutrition. I've lost a lot of weight in recent years. And so I was watching a lot of YouTube. So it was what can I do? What shall I start a channel doing? And that's what I decided to do. So along the way, what I've done is learned all the ins and outs and the bits of it, and most of that I tried to record in my channel. So that's where I'm at.
Sweet. So it's a bit of an experiment along with you doing something that you're enjoying.
Exactly.
So have you picked out when you start making £1 million a year on YouTube, have you picked out your name, like Mr. Beast's name? Do you have a name already in mind?
Well, I thought Millionaire Paul was quite good.
That'll work. Millionaire Paul.
I took a lot of time. It's a bit sarcastic. On my Facebook page, I say I'm known as Millionaire Paul on YouTube. Brackets, it's a bit sarcastic.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Joe and Sue at the Bud Files. Thanks for dropping in today. So do you have a day job? I know you said you have the opportunity to do things you enjoy. Do you have an office job where you go away to work?
No, I retired late 2018, early 2019. Okay. After a lifetime working in retail. And the reason that I retired was because I'd got elderly parents, and my dad had a long-term terminal illness. He had Parkinson's. Okay. And my mum and he weren't overly coping very well. So increasingly I was needing to work with them. So I did a sort of phased retirement. I owned a retail shop and I was working towards closing it down. And then a friend was interested in buying it. So happily, I was able to sell it. Okay. 6 months or so before, a year before COVID came along. So that was quite a result, really, in the retail trade. So the answer is I don't work now. I'm fortunate in that we can live off my wife's income, Mrs. Millionaire. Okay. We can live off her income. Okay. She's not a millionaire.
Is she planning to start a channel also?
No, she's got no interest. She says she'll come along onto the and watch this chat a little bit.
Okay. Now, does she ever get on screen with you?
No, I said poke her head in the door, but I think she's still where most of us were when we first started on YouTube. We were very, very shy. It's difficult to go on camera, so I don't think she'd want to come on camera. Okay. She's never appeared in one of my videos yet. So give it time. Okay,
I was going to ask, is that something you wish for? Are you hoping at some point she'll be on screen with you?
It's up to her. I don't mind. Okay. She can do. I've started mentioning. I was quite careful never to particularly mention her in the early days. I wasn't really saying much to her about what I was doing because it was just to play around. And then as it's become taking up more and more of my time, of course, she's become more obviously aware of what I'm doing and watches my videos and so on. And so I was able to say, do you mind if I include talk of what we've done together? And so I mention her more and more. It's something else to talk. Oh, hello.
Could that be her? Hello, Mrs. Millionaire. How are you?
Hang on. I'll take the earphone off.
So maybe this will be the first in a series of appearances on the channel. Oh yeah, so earbuds.
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Millionaire. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And what is your first name?
It's Jilly.
Jilly. Okay. Thanks for popping in. I had just asked him if you ever appeared on screen with him, and he said not yet. So
No, this is the first time. I couldn't get into the chat, so because I'm not signed into the channel, so I just thought I'd pop up. But I am listening to it though. So
okay, thank you for that.
No problem.
It's good to meet you, and thank you for letting me borrow him for a little while so we can do an interview. Very nice. That was a treat.
That's brilliant. Okay, you're so brilliant that you've talked to him to come in on air.
That was a treat. Well, I saw the door behind you opening, and I thought either she's on her way in or you have a dog.
No, on that issue, we have a grand puppy who comes to stay sometimes.
Okay, I think I've seen him in a video.
Yeah, exactly that. Yep. Yeah.
So tell me what you do when you're not working on your channel. Do you have hobbies? Do you have projects around the house? What do you do with your free time, if there is free time?
Yeah. Oh, well, that is something we could definitely talk about, is how much time YouTube creating takes up. It's sort of squeezed out everything else. So when I retired, I had a big list of things that I've always wanted to do and so on. Now, when I retired, it was to help care for my parents. So, of course, that took up, actually, as my dad got iller and iller, it took up more and more time. He's now passed away nearly 3 years ago. And the big thing that I'd always want to do is get involved in canal restoration. The central part and the northwest of the UK, of England, are crisscrossed with old canals from the Industrial Revolution, built before the railways. It's how they used to move freight around back in the day. And they all went into decline in the 60s and the 70s. And bit by bit, they've all been about 500 miles of canals being brought back into use. Really, really big for holiday traffic. Lots of Americans come over and take holidays on the canals, amongst others. And but there's still about 500 miles under restoration. And coming from the industrial Midlands, which is where I grew up, canals were just part of life as they were gradually coming back. And after school or after a day's work, we'd go down the canal and just hang around. And as kids, we'd help people open the locks and let the boats through. And the people there were on holiday. So it's just part of my life as we grew up, and I just got a love for the canal. So I got involved with a local canal restoration organisation, and that's actually the first thing I did on YouTube, because I've been watching YouTube, and I became their social media person for a little while for my local part of the organisation. Not a big part, but they didn't have a Facebook page, so they said, did anyone want to do it? And I thought, well, I've been getting the pleasure out of this for a while, so I should give something back. So I set up a Facebook group, which grew to over 1,000 members quite quickly.
Okay.
And does all right, and spread the word, like in our local area, about the bigger organisation I was part of. So that took up more and more. It's how I am. It took up more and more and more of my time, and it was beginning to take over a little bit. And then sideways to that, I got this interest in YouTube, and this grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. My mother, she's lost my father, but of course, as time's passing, she's getting better and better. She still needs care. She can't manage on her own, but she's independent with my help, if you see what I mean. So she was needing less of my attention. So YouTube grew. But then I hit the point where I needed to sort of pick one. So I've dropped the canals. And so my week is doing things with my wife, who's now dropped down, Mrs. Millionaire, who's now dropped down to a 4-day working week. Okay. So she gets 3 days. My mother gets 2 or 3 days, and the time that's left is for YouTube, which is a rather dwindling time. So I ask a question to you, really. How do you manage time on YouTube? Because
I retired at the end of April last year. So I had a channel for just over a year before I retired, and it was really challenging to create videos and edit videos. Obviously over time I've gotten more proficient at that anyway, so it doesn't quite take as long as it used to take, but it was really stressful because I wanted to devote time to the channel, but I worked 5 days a week. I'd come home in the evenings, and then there are animals to feed and dinner to cook and laundry to wash,
Richard to talk to and give attention to. Yeah.
Oh gosh, So I mean, Richard helps with a lot of that as well, but it just was a big challenge to find time. So it wasn't a factor in my decision to retire, but as soon as I did retire, I thought, you know what? Now I'm going to see what I can do with this YouTube channel. And it did make a difference to have time to devote to it. It still feels stressful sometimes. Again, the last couple of weeks were really hard. because Richard was sick. And so all the chores and animals and our home business, all of that was my responsibility. So I cut back a lot. Doesn't look like anyone was complaining about it. So I'm happy to be getting back into the swing of things. And this is the first interview I've done now since like mid-December, because I had, the Christmas stream and a New Year's stream and then a catch-up stream last week. So it's been about 4 weeks since I did any interviews. So I'm excited to be getting back to interviewing and introducing people to my channel. But for now, one of the blessings I have is that a lot of the content on our channel creates itself. I just have to have the camera to be recording, because a big focus of the channel is the animals. So, and I can't control necessarily what they're doing. So as long as I've got my camera, I probably throw away as much footage as I use, because I just will record and wait to see if something interesting or humorous is going to happen. And if it doesn't, I try again the next day. But like right now, even, I think I probably have 30 videos in my like folder to use that I need to incorporate into something.
That's what they tell you should do, is that when you watch all these tutorial how to do YouTube videos, which of course I did lots of at the start, but I'd never really managed to do that. Well, I've just about started to get myself into a position where I can do a few scripts, do a couple of videos ahead. One problem that I have is, of course, because I sort of list along the scroll and things, my current statistics and who's commented this week, sort of my unique style that I'm developing. I have to do that on the day I upload.
Right.
But one of the things where in trying to figure out how to manage time better, that we had a lot of discussions with Mrs. Millionaire with just before and just after Christmas, as it was taking up so much of my time, too much, is how to do it. And so I've now got sort of formalized some scripts in Word and so on, getting them so I can sit down and just pick it up and put it down more, and then start filming the content of a few videos a little bit ahead. But I'm limited because what I'm doing is recording my journey, how I'm growing the channel, what I'm coming across. But there's things within that you can get a week or two ahead. It's interesting that you're actually doing that, which is exactly what they say you should be doing. Do you use the YouTube scheduling tool thing?
Absolutely. So I go through little phases where if Richard's on vacation or something and I can devote longer stretches, I will even create and upload, a week or two worth of videos. Now I'll still go in and plug in a shorter video or a shorts or something here and there, but I like to try and have things scheduled out for at least a week. Some things are just regular occurrences here, and obviously my live stream, I can't record it ahead of time. We do that live, but like my Sunday shorts and my Throwback Thursdays, those kind of things, those are sometimes uploaded a month before, even just so that I can already have it out of the way. And because I have so much material to use, I don't have to necessarily wait. I don't always have to capture something live that's happening or something current. I don't always.
You can have a week off without anyone noticing, really.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is my problem. I just have
to play catch up a little bit and create and post maybe the same day, or create one day and upload the next day to get caught back up. I do want to say hello. I saw some other names that are new to me in the chat. Let me find one of them.
I noticed, by the way, Adam Sky said he used to live in Wolverhampton and loved the canals.
Yeah, I figured as soon as he came in, I would let you know that you have a countryman there.
A fellow Wolfrunian.
So hello, Urban American Homestead. That was one of the names I saw. Thank you for being in the chat today. M&T Living and Cooking. Thank you for being in the chat today. I hope I've greeted everyone. Hello to everyone. It always means a lot to me that you pop in and hang out with us for a little while. And if you missed it, I am interviewing Paul from Millionaire Paul, my YouTube journey. And the purpose is just so you guys can get to know him. Obviously, I want you all to check out his channel, show him some support. We want to get him closer to being his Mr. Beast self that he's alluded to.
Did you see that video?
I mean, everybody starts out small. He started out small. I don't even think he really took off until he'd been on YouTube for 5 or 6 years.
I've done a couple of videos where I've compared myself to Mr. Beast is here. I've got a massive proportion of the people that subscribe to me who actually watch each video. It's over 80%. Yeah, which is huge.
Well, and I have to tell you, one of the first videos I saw, the math that you were doing, because I'm very motivated by numbers. I am very numbers driven, and I like numbers. And you were doing kind of the percentages of, if you compare me to him, he gained this many subscribers. I gained this many. My subscriber percent, my gain is a much higher percentage than his gain. So yes, that's the spirit. That's what we need.
Yeah.
So
in fairness, he's probably got a little bit more in the bank than I have, but
maybe so. Well, again, but we all have to start somewhere. So hello, Beth, Southern Mama. How are you? Thank you for being here today. So another question: when did you upload your first video, and what was it?
It was about it was less than a year ago, so I think it was February, March, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I know I've done 201 videos and 102 videos have been uploaded, and 220 days, is it something like that? So it's 220 days ago.
All right.
So the first one I did, I was so shy. I sat in the car. I couldn't look at it for 6 months. Now I'm quite proud when I look back. It's not as bad as I thought, but it gets a surprising number of views. People go back to the first one and compare. But I was sat in the car. I just put my phone on the phone holder, stuck to the windscreen. Found myself a spot in a lay-by next to a main road, and just sort of filmed myself and then wiped it, and filmed myself and wiped it. And no microphone, not very good lighting. I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. And then of course I had to learn how to upload, etc., etc. And then the second video I had something to talk about, because I apologized for some of the things I said in the first video, where I pretended I was learning a bit more than I actually said. I thought, well, hang on, the whole point of this is to be honest about the process, what works, what doesn't work, how I'm feeling, and all that. And so I had something to talk about in the second video then. The first one was just me sat in a car, cars in the background whizzing past, terrible sound. It took me about 20, 30 videos to even start improving the sound.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun to bring back out then one day.
Oh, yeah. In fact, of course, I did it. And then I forgot to turn the phone on its side. So it was an upright, long form video, which didn't look very good. But I've left it all there. That's the point. Nothing gets erased. It's part of the journey.
Yeah. And I think if you look at it the right way, then it should be a source of encouragement as a content creator, when you can look back at the first one and then compare down the road and realize, oh my gosh, yes, I don't feel
it's a confidence booster.
That got me here.
Yeah. What was your first? You've probably been asked before, have you?
Yeah. I posted in March of 2021. We had a goose sitting on a clutch of duck eggs. We had a goose incubating duck eggs for us, and we have cameras in the pen. And so I'd been watching the nest, because we were getting, closer to hatch. And so it's just a little 30-second clip, because that's all our outdoor, that's all the cameras in the pen can record at a time, is 30 seconds. And it was just a shot of her sitting on the nest tending to the eggs.
Oh, how many views has it got now? Do you know?
I haven't looked in a while. I don't know that it was ever a big popular video. But we had been posting those kind of videos on our Facebook page for a long time, and people would tell me, y'all need to have a YouTube channel. You need to put this on YouTube. And I was so intimidated, and I thought, no, that's a monster. I can't.
So which was the first video that you actually appeared in yourself? I'm interviewing you now. Sorry, Kathy.
Wow.
I'm not planning on doing it.
Well, I think off and on I've appeared in videos, either Richard was recording Facebook, or I'm talking. For sure you can hear me even if you don't see me. I did a basic first aid for waterfowl video last summer, and I think that's among maybe the first ones where I had the camera on myself. I'm talking to the audience, and then I did a demonstration. One of the girls in the flock had an issue, and
did you feel shy?
I didn't.
I felt so shy and difficult to talk to the camera.
Gosh,
it wasn't natural for me.
I've never really been uncomfortable in front of people. I just initially did not imagine that I would ever be the star kind of a video. The star was going to be the animals. But I started realizing over time that my favorite channels are ones where I get to see the person too. Even if they're not in every video, I see them. I get to, I don't know. It just feels like more of a connection. And because I'm connected to the animals here, it just sort of evolved into me being in the shots as well, because I'm interacting with the animals and I'm teaching
the animals. Yeah, the animals probably helped because you can pick the animal up, point at the animal, they'll do something funny. Yeah. You can have a long pause while the animal's running around. Yeah,
they go together. So
I'll have to get a duck.
One of the earliest ones I can think of deliberately putting myself in. Again, lots of other things where I may have been in a little scene because I'm working and showing something. But
see, I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. I'm confident in a small group of people. I can stand on a stage in front of lots of people, but I can't actually do anything very well. I can't tell a joke. I can't sing. I haven't got the body to be a Chip and Dale.
It's never too late.
I'm over. Never too late. I could work on it, I suppose. I've got the confidence. I just don't have any talent, and I've never really filmed. And I just thought, oh no, this is awful. I sound terrible. I've had to get used to how I sound. I don't like the way I sound. But I think a lot
what
of people
you're doing now, this is a talent. What you're doing on your channel is a talent that you're sharing.
Yeah.
I'm
relaxed into it.
You're teaching us, and you're doing it in a way that's enjoyable for us, and it looks like it's enjoyable for you, which makes it more enjoyable for us. Well, I had sung for a long time. I had sung for a long time. I've been on stage a lot of times in front of many people. So
I can't sing.
It was never an issue feeling like I was in front of people. Now, I did have to get over some hang-ups that I'm sure everybody struggles with from time to time. Here's Adam's encouragement. This is encouragement for everyone.
Having no talent never held me back.
But Adam does the same thing. He gets on the camera and he shares himself, and it's enjoyable, and there's beautiful scenery, and there's Buddy, and so.
But that's another thing. That's you were saying about you love seeing the people. I really love, one of the best things for me from the YouTube channels that I follow is seeing real lives in different places around the world, even in different countries or different parts of a country. And if someone's vlogging one way or another, they can't help showing you their real life. And it's really, the room, even starting with the room behind, it's just, I love that.
Oh yeah. Well, again, because it's a connection.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, most people that get on YouTube, even if they're just trying to learn how to, change the air conditioner filter, they still want a connection. They still want to find a reason to be there and engage beyond just, learning something.
Well, they say you should tell a story. I'm actually kind of torn with that one, because the whole point of my channel was to record sort of the stats of the journey and be excited when the stats were good and things like that. So, but at the same time, I read all the time that one of the keys is to tell a story always and give a lot and tell a bit more about yourself. So reconciling those two or combining those two is probably one of the big challenges that I face to grow the channel, really. So
yeah, but it's really fun when you start getting a good understanding of how to make that happen. I know for me, it just re-energizes you. So each time I try a new kind of a video and it goes well and I enjoy it, or it's it's well received and I get comments and people seem to appreciate it, it's motivating. It's very motivating to keep going, because the opposite is true too, where you'll spend weeks on a project and you think it's going to be so great, and you upload it, and you're so excited about it. And then
nobody watches.
And then 8 people watch it, and nobody comments. You get 2 likes.
It's true. You can't say what's going to be the best watched video, can you?
No. Obviously, there's some formulas where certain elements tend to perform better for most channels across the board. But I think, again, a big part of the equation is the person. There's got to be something about the person behind the channel, not just the content of the videos. Hello, Lit. How are you? Thank you for being here today.
Hello, Lit.
So let me get back to some questions here. So do you have a favorite video of yours that you've uploaded? or a video you're most proud of?
No.
Okay. That's
The reason is, you know I won't just say that, don't you?
It's allowed.
You've worked that out about me already, haven't you?
There's no rules.
I might be the first person who's managed to talk more than you, Kathy, because I know you're like me. You like to talk.
This is kind of fun. Well, it's so funny you say that, because just in trying to think of new things to do for my live stream, I thought, you know what? I didn't tell you this yet, Adam. I thought I ought to get with Adam, and we're going to turn the tables, and we're going to let Adam interview me and ask me all these questions.
You've got to do it, yeah.
Just because he and I, that was one of my favorite interviews. We just had a fun time. My relationship with him here on YouTube it's always been fun, and
Adam, don't forget to charge her.
That would be, I think, a fun way to just mix it up a little bit. And see where it goes. So, and get him back on the screen, because we just really did. I had a great time with him on the screen. So, but back to questions. What is your favorite thing about YouTube?
My favorite thing about YouTube is it feels when you're on it huge. There's so many people, but it's actually quite small in a way. It's a community, and it really is. And funnily enough, I thought that today. I was driving. It's an hour's drive to my mother's, and when I get closer to Wolverhampton, I'm going through traffic, and I'm looking at all the people in the lines of cars going the other way, thinking. I tell you what, I saw someone who looks a little bit like Fanatic Collecting Guru, who quite a few people on here will probably know. And this person looked a bit like him. I thought, is that Fanatic Collecting Guru? And they thought, no, it isn't. He lives in America, so of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. So, and then I thought, there's just thousands and thousands of people, even in this little bit of the town that I'm in, and but none of them are doing YouTube. So although it seems like there's a lot on YouTube, we have actually got our own little community. And then you narrow it down, and a huge number of those aren't going to be interested in watching a 57-year-old growing his YouTube channel, or Kathy and Richard doing homesteading in North Texas. So that narrows the actually. And we're all forming our own little groups. That's how and that's how the teenagers originally grew YouTube, by forming all these little groups and making friends and making friends online. That some would go offline, some would stay online, and so on and so forth. And they're sort of moving on to a large extent to things like Twitch and so on. And we're owning YouTube now. Our little community.
We're taking over.
And that's the best thing. It is. It happened with Facebook, Kathy, didn't it? The young ones have all left Facebook now.
Oh yeah.
The canal restoration page that I set up, I got with over that was a whole community of people like us who were interested in canals, and not me, but trains and tractors and things like that. And the older, boring people, if you like, in some ways, have now taken over Facebook, and that's happening on YouTube. And I'm loving watching that process and sort of being part of it. And it's just fun.
Yep. So I've said before, too, that back in the day, there were, and maybe there are still chat rooms. I know back in the day, Yahoo had chat rooms.
I remember.
And you could go in and be, a member of this chat room group.
Yeah.
And
the young ones won't know what we're talking about.
No, but it had a similar feel. These were people from all over the world. You maybe never met them face to face. You were never in their country or city. And yet you felt like you knew them, and we knew about each other's families and children and pets. And so while we're kind of discussing the topic of whatever's in the chat room, we're just getting to know each other and building a little community. And this feels like that. I'm also a gamer. And so the gaming community, the geezer gamer community particularly, I've developed real life friendships even. And some of us do live close enough that we've met for dinner and parties and things. And but it felt like that.
My wife's Mrs. Millionaire's, through Mrs. Millionaire, I've inherited is the word. I don't know, inherited a son and his fiance who are in their 30s. But, so they're in the 30s. They're not even young. They're a generation behind us. They've each got an office in the house with 3 computer screens in it, and they've got the headphones on, even the 3D things on the walls. And that is their lot, but they've got friends who we meet that they know through their online communities, and it isn't YouTube. they may have a YouTube channel, some of them, but one of their friends has a big channel, but it's not that. It's through various gaming channels and things like that, and they just chat and Twitch live streaming and all of that. And no, I'm not going down that route. This is ours now. We've got YouTube.
Yeah, and it's going to be better now because of it. And yes, so yes, Seth, I am a Halo junkie, a recovering Halo addict, I'll say.
What's that mean? What does that mean?
The game Halo, the video game Halo.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't do games.
Yeah, so
too old.
I like the FPS stuff. I don't spend much time on it anymore, and I don't know why, because I think it's great therapy. I've said for a long time that if Weight Watchers would just come up with the right video game, and I'm sure a lot of other people would have less trouble with keeping a healthy weight. Southern Mama, no, I missed your question. I saw that you said he came in. Let me go back and find it.
Oh, do one together with John Garner.
Okay, so hey, let me think on that. I might even call you sometime, and he and I can visit, and we'll see what we can come up with. For some things for him to grow his channel. And if he wants to be on the live stream, Beth, I would happily have him on, or when you come on in a couple of weeks, we'll have him come on as well, and I'll introduce him and we'll learn about him and his channel. So tell him that for me. I think that's the question you meant. Let me get back now and get caught up with the chat.
We are reading it, guys. Following your comments with one eye.
All right. Okay, lots of recovering gamers in the chat. Hey, Junkyard Gamer, there's my friend Junkyard Gamer, who actually has a gaming channel. So you get to watch him do some gaming on the channel. Oh, honey, I can't let you out right now. You got to wait a second. Daddy will be home.
Oh, let the dog up.
This is Boone. Come here, Boone. Come on up and say hi to Paul. Come here.
Come and say hi to Paul. Oh, they're both there.
Come here. Come and say hi. Oh, well, okay. So he's ours. She's boarding with us. This is Gucci, but she's here like 4 days a week. So she's pretty much a family dog at this point.
You can't be sad with a dog. Right? It's a Cocker Spaniel, our grand puppy that comes to stay with us.
We have a little regular boarder that's been here several times, a little Cocker Spaniel boy.
Oh.
And he doesn't know he's not a big dog. He runs with these big dogs and has the best time, and just doesn't seem to be the least bit intimidated or uncomfortable at all, despite their size.
Your dogs are always really good, actually. Unless it's been on a video I've missed, I've never seen one have a tantrum.
Yeah, well, I just think if you do it right, and they spend time with people and other dogs early enough in their lives, then you won't have a problem. But some people just
time is the word, isn't it? You have to spend time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, some people just leave them outside all the time, or they never.
I sort of spent so much time with the dog when they had it from a puppy, and he spent hours and hours and hours with her, just training her to be good at it. She's so calm. She can run up to the biggest, fiercest dog, and she'll just go, hello.
Yeah, that's how.
And he goes, if she's making a noise, he just goes, and she goes quiet.
Yeah, they're smarter than we think too.
Yeah.
So, what's your least favorite thing about YouTube?
I don't know. It's brilliant. What's my least favorite thing? I don't know. I can't even say the monetization thing, because that's given us something to aim for. It's a fun thing to talk about. At least I don't suffer from trolls, not yet.
Okay.
I suppose when I do that, will mean I've made it. I don't know what might be the worst thing about YouTube. I'm trying to think. Obviously the time it takes up, but that's just a problem I'm having right now, which is part of the fun, trying to solve a problem.
Oh yeah.
Worst thing.
Well,
No.
that's
there
good.
isn't a worst thing.
No,
I generally am trying to think of a negative.
No, that's good. That's allowed.
If I don't like it, I can turn it off.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to say I didn't like editing, but again, it's because I was new at it.
No, I like that.
I wasn't very fast. I felt like it just took up more time than it should. But now that I've got a good,
What editor do you? Sorry.
I use
What editor
Power
do you use, Kathy?
Director. Power Director.
Okay. Yeah, I use.
I like it.
I'm
I'm sure
now
they
going
all
to
do.
DaVinci. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they all do the
Yeah.
same kind of things, but
I used to edit in the early videos. I edited on my phone, and I've only relatively recently, the last about 3 or 4 months, it sort of got onto the proper editor thing, and it's a steep learning curve, isn't it?
Oh gosh, well,
we're so used to Windows,
and
all the intuitive thing that we're used to on Windows. It's like, well, why wouldn't I just right click to do that? And it's like, oh, that's just the operating system. So it's a different one. Oh no, yeah. But I'm getting into it now.
Well,
I enjoy that. I enjoy the statistics. I enjoy, the analytics. It's just applying myself, and that's part of my problem. I'll throw myself into it, and now I'm having to go. I've been doing this for getting on for a year now. I've got to sort of get that work life, YouTube life balance back, and so on. But it'd be nice, the idea is to try and earn a little bit of money from it. And
and I've said before, I would just be happy if we at least make enough to keep the ducks fed.
Are you monetized? Have you got to that point?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Since
4th of July last year.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah. So again, anything I'm making is going right back into buying food.
So your Amazon wish list is on there as well.
Yes. And I was going to talk about that a little bit later in the show.
Now what surprised me though is I'm way short of monetization, and I'm not trying to rush my subscribers because I can see that getting the watch hours. I don't want to do live streams to make money. That doesn't really interest me. I suppose that's the worst thing. I'm not interested in live streams. I shouldn't say that right now. But I'm not interested in doing live streams. I quite enjoy being a guest. I might do it again. This is my first time. I'll enjoy doing it.
I think it's probably the greatest way to grow a channel, and I say that only because it really does let people. You're sitting and visiting with people. I mean, you can react to comments live as they're happening, and it just gives everyone a real picture of who you are and how do you talk? I
think having done this, I'll watch it back and learn and go, oh my God, I looked awful, and so on and so forth.
Great. I'd love.
I'll do this again. I've enjoyed doing this, and I think that's a fun thing to do, guest appearances. But I'm not interested in live streaming on my channel. But building all that is fun, and
well, again, it may be something I'd love to see you try it because it's fun for me as well, and I think the people that come to the streams have a fun time with it. So
it's big. I know. It's strangely it doesn't interest me.
Encouragement in the chat. I think it's going great. So back to questions though.
Yep.
If you could collaborate with any other YouTuber, who would it be? Like if you have a favorite YouTuber, or it doesn't have to be someone that does the same thing you do. Just if you could collaborate, if you could do a video, a project with any other YouTuber.
I don't know. A lot of that because we haven't mentioned this on here. It's on some of my videos, but we car camp. We go off grid. We've got a Citroen Berlingo micro camp, and we just go more and more. That's my other big hobby that takes up a lot of my time, and we go away loads in it. I could talk for ages about it. A couple of my videos have featured this. So because of that, I've gravitated towards an awful lot of the van campers and so on. So you've got the Babbling Brooks and Merry Manx Adventures and the Sand Van. All of these are people who go around in their vans and are posting videos. So of course, I enjoy watching them. So somehow we've sort of been drawn together and they become fans of my channel. Obviously very interested. It's easier to watch. I struggle when people subscribe to me to watch the gaming channels. If it's like 30 minutes of somebody playing a game, how it's difficult to support them. If it's somebody spending, ideally 5 minutes, people, please. But if it's like someone spending 20 minutes just going where they've been in their van, and today, who was it, going down in Fuerteventura, I forget who it was, going down a really steep road in their van, and she's going, I don't like this. Was it Michelle? I can't remember who it was, but I love that, and so I can't remember what the question was. Sorry.
Just collaborating.
So it would be with one of the band. Now Watto from Wandering with Watto and a bunch of the other YouTubers all met up in my hometown of Shrewsbury in my early days, and they didn't know I lived in Shrewsbury. So several people they had no idea where I was in the UK. They actually met up 5 or 6 miles from where I lived. So all of these people in this little the group of campers, it'd be great to sort of meet up with them the next time they do. So in Shrewsbury, where I live, it's quite an old Tudor town, and they all posted their videos of themselves filming with each other in the background. So it's not quite exactly live streaming, but the next time they all meet up, or a bunch of YouTubers together, I'd really enjoy meeting on that. Even though mobile vlogging isn't really my style, when the people who go out touring, and particularly the wild van campers, yeah. So I'm not going to pick one. I don't want to have a favourite.
Okay, no, but again, it can just be a collective.
Yeah. So all of those, yeah. I'd love to appear on all of those.
Urban American Homestead said Justin Rhodes, and I've said all along, and it's not even that I feel like now we have that much in common, but I am such a fan of Roots and Refuge Farm. And I would love to do a video with Jess. I don't know what it would be about. Maybe if I get my garden going again. Are they
homesteaders or?
Oh gosh, yeah. Probably one of the very first homesteading channels I really fell in love with and started following.
Say the name again, Kathy.
Roots and Refuge Farm.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't ring a bell. Okay, yeah.
Jess and Maya. I love their story. And again, I love them. I think whatever their channel was about, there's something about her, there's something about them that I just really enjoy. I really connect with it. And I think it would just be a fantasy to have an opportunity to do some kind of a collaboration with her. Again, I kind of imagine it would have to do with gardening. So once I get a garden started again, have her come on and guide me and guide the rest of us through some gardening tips.
What I've never seen anybody do is a sort of everyone sitting inside like we are now, but if you could set up the cameras outside somehow, so you're in each other's gardens talking about the gardens. Now, of course, there's Wi-Fi issues and stuff, isn't there, doing that? But I've not seen anybody do that, and that would be really good, wouldn't it? Walk around each other's gardens together.
Wait, let me write that down.
Bill's in the post.
Let me write that down. Yeah, thanks for that idea.
Refuge.
Yeah. Let's see what.
The rest will be life changing.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot that we can all benefit. There are a lot of benefits to both sides of this.
Yeah. I watch quite a lot of.
I've
got quite a lot of homesteaders and so on, and farmers are in my little group. And again, I think one thing's led to another somehow. It was never planned, but Boatwright Farm is great. They've got all the little pigs, and we watched them from when when she was pregnant to when they were born to then as they're separating them, and they talk us through it. So I love Boatwright Farm. They're my favourite, not homesteaders, but proper sort of pig farmers. And they're I think they sell them locally to where they are in America somewhere, and so they're very much how they look after them and how they have a good life and all of that. There's a surprising number of pigs on YouTube, aren't there?
Well, it's for sure a common homestead animal. So we don't raise any animals here for meat yet. I think when I'm ready for that, it'll be chickens to start. The ducks keep us stocked. The ducks and geese keep us stocked with eggs. So we do get food from them. And yes, so you heard it here first. I have collected 4 goose eggs this week. I'm not ready for baby anythings, because we typically will get another ice storm or just a bad patch of weather from mid-February through the middle of March here. So I like to wait. Yeah. I like to wait. If the girls want to lay eggs in the middle of March, then I'm okay with them incubating until mid-April. That works out fine. The weather is typically good, at least good enough here that it's safe for the babies. And I can always just keep them in.
How do you manage to spend the time on the farm, on the homestead?
Well, I've joked before that I had 4 human kids in 5 years. And so I definitely had to learn to multitask and be hyper aware and hyper vigilant. And so a lot of it just feels like that. I feel like it's mothering a lot of kids.
So were you a farming or a homesteading family? Is that how did you grow up, or did you? No,
not growing up. It's just something I had always dreamed of. I was the little girl that always wanted a pony. Always wanted to have a horse one day.
So how long before retirement did you have the homestead?
We moved here in February of 2013. It'll be 10 years next month. We got our first dog in April that year. We lived in an apartment. We had an apartment in Valley Ranch, Texas, about 20 miles from here.
So this was the dream.
We had cats. Yeah, we had cats. So I've always had animals. But I didn't want a dog until we had a yard and some property, even though I grew up with dogs. I had dogs all of my childhood. And even when my kids were little, we had dogs. The dogs, were the kids' friends. So we moved here in February. We rescued our first German Shepherd in April, the beginning of April that year. We started fostering in June that year, and had probably 36 or 37 foster dogs over the course of the next 2 or 3 years. We started a family business in late 2014. Richard lost his job, and we had to have a way to make money. I was working full time, but not enough to support. I wasn't making enough to support us by myself. So we started this family business. We tend to people's livestock on their property. He does landscaping. We haul hay. He does handyman stuff, and that kept us going. Yeah. So that continues. Even now, we still have that. That's where our boarding business kind of came into play. Some of the dogs that had been adopted from us, our foster dogs, their families contacted us after adopting, over the years, and just said, hey, would you consider babysitting for us? We want to go on vacation, but we just don't know where to leave.
It's hard to find good sitters.
So we said, sure. And so it was kind of like a reunion and grandkids coming to visit. So then, of course, word got out. And so the rescue that we work with Good Shepherd Rescue of Texas. And so then it just took those first couple of people, having their dogs board with us, and they spread the word. Oh my gosh, you need to call Richard and Kathy. If y'all are going somewhere, you need to call Richard and Kathy. So then it turned into dogs that we had not fostered, but they were just dogs from the rescue, dogs that had been adopted from the rescue. And I know until we suspended our boarding in 2019, at the end of 2019, just because our boys were getting older. We had one German Shepherd boy that was older, and I didn't want his last years. He was healthy, but I didn't want his last years just to be filled every day with all these other dogs taking up our attention. And we suspended our boarding until April of last year. So
don't they say children grow up and leave home, but dogs just get older and more dependent?
Yeah, so
it's true, isn't it?
And we got calls still the whole time, but up until we suspended the boarding, we were booked with boarders like 310 days a year. Out of the 365 days a year, there were boarders here every day, virtually every day.
Really holidays. Is a lifestyle, isn't it?
So which I'm not complaining. I liked it, and initially, the dogs enjoyed having the company and new playmates, but just as Cooper started slowing down, I thought, okay, I don't want this to turn into something stressful for him where he's constantly got all these crazy active puppy dogs, because he was the big brother.
You can tell if it's bothering him, can't you? You can tell when they're getting bothered, but as they get old, it's a bit.
He was always the one that, he corrected all the foster puppies if they were jumping on the furniture or chasing the cats. He's the one that would correct, and he was very much the big brother, kind of, dad dog to everyone. And so, it just started looking like he's not really enjoying this as much anymore. So, but he passed away in March last year. So we opened our boarding business again. We lost his brother in November 2021. And we were just down to our one dog. And I said, okay, so let's, because we were getting calls. Again, we were still getting calls all the time. Have y'all started boarding again?
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So as soon as I put the post up on Facebook, I think we had 2 or 3 phone calls. Yes, are you available these dates and these dates and these dates? So
that's a nice feeling, though, isn't it? Nice to know that you're doing, that they like what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And our philosophy is just that we would want for these other dogs what we would want for ourselves if we had to go somewhere and leave our dogs. And so our boarders, they sleep on the bed, when it's Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're here with the family. And I just, everybody wins. And again, we make some money doing it. So
yeah. It sounds like you make a bit here, a bit bubbles in the pond, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think for you.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Hello, David Hunt. Thanks for being here today. What do you think? Okay, here's Bear. Bear, come get on the camera. Come here, Bear. Come here, Bear. Come here. Can you see? There's Bear. Okay, there's Bear.
Oh, hi, Bear.
No,
Hello, Bear.
You gotta wait, boys. You gotta wait.
Yeah,
boys.
they won't talk.
Hang on. So let me get back to. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Lisa.
I have not seen Lion Dad, Beth. I'll have to check that out. I love people showing or teaching me about other channels that they know I'm going to like, because I would not know about them otherwise.
Yeah, I'll go back through this live feed later and follow all the links and everyone that's been commenting.
Oh yeah, well, and that's what I always encourage.
We are reading you guys.
When you see a new name in the chat, check out their channel. I think most of the people that visit my live streams are content creators. Not everyone, but check it out because there's a lot of great stuff there. But let me get back to. So now, these are non-YouTube related things. Do you like to travel?
Yes, I know you
said the van life, the car camping and things, but.
And that's something that, as my wife, as I say, she's just a few months ago dropped down to 4-day week. I gave up and retired, but then I was caring for my parents, and now I've got the time. So we're on a sort of, as we're getting older, slight slowdown, which would be why it'd be nice to generate a little bit of income from YouTube, of course, so that she could back away even more from that. But as we're winding down, the plan is to spend more and more time. So we're going to go away a lot in the camper van this year. Travel, I got a bit. I fell out with airports and airlines. I like going abroad from the UK. We go to Wales and Scotland, of course, which are technically different countries, but great different scenery. But so we do all that. But we're hoping next year, or more likely the year after, if my wife can get about 2 or 3 months off work, we want to go and just spend 2 or 3 months knocking around northern and mid France. So that'll be our big adventure that we're working towards at the moment. And potentially we'll go off grid one day, completely and spend every summer off grid as who is it? The Babbling Brooks, who camper van channel, and they've just sold from the Isle of Man. They've just sold, not the Isle of Man, the Babbling Brooks, where are they from? They've just sold a house and given up their jobs. They're similar age to ourselves, and they've just headed off to Europe in the van. And that's kind of our ambition to do in a few years' time. Big adventure. We're slowly cranking it up. I have been to adventures. I've been to America in 1986, did the Work America thing when I was a student on a camp in Pennsylvania, and then spent 3.5 weeks touring all around it. And I've done, I went to Australia in 2000 or somewhere around about there. So I've had a few big adventures and then a few trips abroad and that, but I kind of fell out with airports and airlines and how they use security as an excuse to give you absolutely awful service. You wouldn't put up with what they do to you in other areas of business and commerce. And so and the UK and Scotland and Wales and Ireland we've never made it to, but Ireland are beautiful anyway. So right on our doorstep we've got so much. But the plan is to travel seriously in the van. But we don't so much going for big cities or city breaks. I've done all that and enjoyed it thoroughly. New York was superb. Sydney was superb. But we're now into quiet, leafy glens that don't sound that exciting, but we just sit there for a day or two. Nobody in sight, going for walks and just enjoying the silence. And if it's clear sky, watching the stars. So and my version of travel is going somewhere to sit there and do nothing. We've reached that age in life, I think.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. We go camping. We try to go camping every summer for the Perseid meteor shower.
Oh, golly, I've never really seen much in it. I seem to miss it every year.
The problem here is that it's in the middle of August. The peak is in the middle of August, the hottest time of the year here in Texas.
I bet you get clear skies though in North Texas, surely.
Yeah. So we went to, we stayed at a state park in New Mexico 1 year for the Perseids, and it wasn't as hot. Maybe it wasn't as hot that summer, but I don't remember it being as hot at that place. So I know if we just went a little farther north, we could escape some of the heat, but we can't be gone for very long at a time just because we have all these animals. So,
but can't you just sit outside and look at the stars?
Oh, we can, yeah. I mean, there's still some light pollution around, so we can't see nearly as much as we can see when we go out away to a state park or a dark sky area. and watch. But that's one of my favorite things to do. And hello, John. I put that up so I would remember to say hello to John from Home Bartending with John.
Thank you, M&T, for saying it's a great interview. That's
Yeah, no, I think it's going great. I'm having a fun time. I told you.
Listen. What should I do better, or what? The praise is lovely, but how can I improve? Because it's my first ever live guest appearance.
It's not about improvement. I want people to feel something. I want them to catch your spirit.
Yeah. I don't sit still much. That's my spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, a lot of your videos, you can kind of pick up on that. I can pick up on the energy, but
that is me sitting still in my videos, by the way.
Yeah. But now again, so that's why I asked the questions about YouTube, because that's where people are gonna see you most often.
Yeah.
But then I like to start asking these kind of questions that don't really have anything to do with YouTube or the channel.
Going back to travel, by the way, when I was in America, it was 1986. In my head, America still looks like it did in 1986. I think how the UK's changed since 86. They have documentaries on the telly and we all laugh at the hairstyles and the clothes.
Yeah.
But in my head, you guys are still 1986,
Yeah.
So YouTube is at least slowly changing that.
So I spent 3 weeks in the UK back in 1996. I did a concert.
Still a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, I did a concert tour of Ireland and Scotland. And
singing?
I have dreams one day of retiring to Pitlochry, Scotland. And again, it probably doesn't look or feel like it did back then either, but it was just one of the most.
It does to a large extent, I think. Yeah.
I just thought it was the most
busier. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, and
but busy in Scotland isn't that busy, even at the height of season.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Not like, then we're lucky because we live. I mean, we're still close to shopping and entertainment and anything we might need, but we've got some acreage, so we have a little place kind of tucked away. We're on a slower paced part of town. The more you go in toward the town center, so much traffic and stoplights and all the businesses and I don't enjoy that at all anymore. I've never really been a big shopper. I like to grocery shop because I like to cook, but we like having the best of both worlds here by having some space and feeling like we're kind of out in the country, even though just right around the corner is the little Sprout.
We're the same here. We've after both Mrs. Millionaire and myself, we've lived in big cities. I've lived in London twice. She's lived in Manchester and so on. The local town to us, Shrewsbury, we lived in 4 different flats since we met 11, 12 years ago. So 11 and a half years now, we've moved around a bit, but then when we moved out to where we are, we're in a village about 7 miles out of town. It's not a busy big town anyway, so we're already going sort of quieter and quieter, and then we've moved out into what feels like the countryside, but we can be at the big supermarket in less than 10 minutes. It's the same as you, I think.
Yeah, that's the same here. Yeah, and hello, Pedroza Travel. So look, he's in Mexico today, guys. Thank you for popping in, John. That's very nice for you to take a little time from your trip here, which means we need to be watching for that video, guys. So you need to check out his channel, do a little virtual traveling. He'll have a video for us. Hello, Don Ray B. I see people saying hello to Don Ray B. Thanks for being here today. You guys just warm my heart by showing up. I'm that easy to please. So let's get back to some non-YouTube questions. What's your favorite kind of food?
Well, on a Friday, to be stereotypically British, we have fish and chips usually from the chip shop. And that's our Friday treat. If we've been quite good all week, we've eaten healthily, because we're both very much into eating healthily now, which is another story. We've both lost slowly, steadily quite a lot of weight over a number of years by getting interested in food and nutrition. But the treat at the end of the week is normally fish and chips, sometimes kebab and chips from the fish and chip shop. And and otherwise, a pizza, but we'll usually not order out now. You can buy it from the supermarket just as cheaply. So yeah. So the treat is fish and chips. We don't eat out in restaurants very often.
Do you cook? Are you a cook?
Not a cook as in YouTube channel doing all sorts of clever things, but yes, I tend to do more than half of the cooking because Mrs. Millionaire works and I'm retired and I'm usually back from my mother's in time to do dinner.
Okay.
But it'll often be just some homemade chips done in the oven. We try not to eat processed food very much. We're trying to eat more nuts and berries and so on and homemade. So I'd be as plant-based as I can, although Mrs. Millionaire doesn't want to be plant-based. So it's very difficult when the sausage is sitting there not to have one.
It's hard.
So potentially some fish or some sausage. Or a chop with chips and peas, and then I'll do a load of other vegetables in the steamer like broccoli and green beans out the freezer. But if it's down to fancy cooking, making nice sauces or something clever, that's Mrs. Millionaire. She has got the talent, to be honest. She could be a great YouTube chef, but she doesn't have the interest to do that.
Maybe
I haven't got any talent.
Maybe that will be her introduction on your channel at some point. I know Adam Sky's wife. I think you see her arm, right? You see her arm in the shepherd's pie. Is it shepherd's pie? What is that video? So she's not really in the videos either, but I think her arm is in a scene.
In the shepherd's pie.
In a cooking. Her arm's not in the shepherd's pie, but her arm is in the video of them making dinner.
I'll gradually introduce Mrs. Millionaire sort of limb by limb until I come.
Yeah, that's a series, right? Yeah. Video 1 is the hand, and you work your way up. Yeah, try it. You don't know. Maybe there will be some new statistics to share with us after that. So
I'm going to do that.
You have a grand dog, but you don't have pets that live at your house full time?
No. In a previous life, I had 2 great big rough collies. Dogs like Lassie. But that was way back in the where are we in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
In a previous life, we're at that age. Both Mrs. Millionaire and myself, we've been married twice. Have you been married before? Oh yeah, Mrs. Millionaire and myself, we've both been married twice before, so we both got previous lives and so on. Mrs. Millionaire is my growing old wife. I keep saying, and through her, I got no children. I got no children from either of my previous marriages, but I inherited what's now a 35-year-old son through Mrs. Millionaire, and he's lovely, and they've almost got the dog.
Yeah, so Richard is 5 years younger than I am. So now
that's nothing at our age, is it?
Yeah, so now I joke about,
Toy boy.
Having the younger man. And hello, Byron. So this is our friend Byron from 12 Stones Ranch, who is a Texas neighbor of ours. He's been here to visit and meet all of the animals and put up with Serena, who is ridiculously overprotective in her old age. But let me see. Do you consider yourself more of an introvert or an extrovert?
I think extrovert.
Okay. Do you have siblings?
I have a sister, but I don't see much of her these days.
Is she older or younger?
4 years younger. 4 years younger, and she's female. So I think when you're kids, it's quite a big age difference, especially if you're opposite genders.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter in theory, but especially back in the 60s, of course, Yeah. So, we've largely grown apart, but, see her occasionally.
Okay.
But, every family has its story.
Oh, honey. Do you consider yourself more artistic or more analytical?
Analytical.
Okay.
Definitely. Oh, leave the dogs there. Leave the dogs. It's lovely. It's nice.
So, are you on other social media? I know you talked about the canal restoration project, but you mentioned your Facebook page. You have a Millionaire Paul Facebook page?
Yeah, I potted around with that. So I've got my own personal page. I didn't want to use that for this project. So I toyed around with YouTube, and I tried setting up a YouTube page, they call them, rather than a personal profile. It wasn't really working for me for various reasons. I didn't quite like. I couldn't join various things as a page and stuff. So I closed that down and went back to a profile. But Facebook wants you to use your own name. So I had to call myself Paul Millie O'Nair. Which it wouldn't let me do Millionaire Paul or Paul Millionaire. So and that's actually growing now. So I'll just let it trickle away. So it links to it from a YouTube page, and quite a few of my friends off YouTube now are on there. So find me out, guys. Paul Millie O'Nair on Facebook.
Okay, so look him up there as well, guys.
I think I've got about 70 followers or friends or whatever it is. So that's it. I opened a Twitter account and quite quickly went, I can't do this. Too much time as well. We
have a Twitter, but I don't even know the last time I used it.
Are you on Facebook?
We're on Facebook. RichKatRanch on Facebook. RichKat_Ranch on Instagram. But really, I only use Instagram for messaging people. We don't do a whole lot on the Instagram page either.
I'm struggling to find the time to do this. At least Facebook, when I'm walking around, you can kind of do it in between things.
Yeah.
When I'm
well,
stood
we
outside
still
a changing room.
Business-related stuff. We'll still post stuff on our Facebook page there.
Well, when I had my shop, of course, we had a Facebook page for that. Right. So I'd run business Facebook page for it, and so that's how I ended up doing the social media for the Canal charity.
Right. So, do you have videos coming up? Obviously, you're going to continue to bring us on your daily journey, right? As you're growing your channel.
Although I don't do it daily anymore now. I've taken that pressure off myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think of the names being day 124 or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I've just switched now. I've started saying video 101, video 102.
Okay.
And then the pressure is on. But that's part of the process I've gone through now. So the first 100 have been by day.
Yeah.
Although I was increasingly missing some days. And so now I'm part of the process of time management. That is my current focus, really. There's a lot of other things to focus on in future. Affiliate marketing and all that sort of stuff. Hey, I've got my first sponsor. Oh, listen. So I've been amazed at how many people have kindly donated to the channel. I'm recording them all and giving them a thank you when they do on the videos. I put a thing up, the last couple of things on because you're the only person I really know out of all the people like me on YouTube who've done the scroll at the bottom. So it's really interesting that you got to where I've got. And but I put a thing on an extra scroll on top saying sponsor this space. And Michelle from Mary Manx Travels, sent me a message today saying, well, when you get to 200, I'm only on 146 followers. Followers? What is it in YouTube? I'm blanked.
Subscribers, subscribers.
Thank you very much. It says when you get to 200, we'll pre-book. When you get to 200, we'll book a block of 5. And they're going to pay to go on the scroll. So
how exciting! Yeah, I know. I'll have to add a banner to my stream next week. That's awesome. That's very awesome.
Yeah. So, but I'm surprised how I can't remember the question, but I'm surprised how people are actually interested in doing that. So
just if you had projects coming up, but
videos,
and so where do you see the channel, or where do you want to see the channel, say a year from now? Is it about
I'd like to keep. I think I've tried lots of different hats, and the whole thing, my plan was to just take it steady, cut my teeth slowly, learn, develop, report as I went on what's happening. And I've kind of settled on a style now, the sort of where to put the statistics. I've got the ticker tapes going along the bottom. I've got stats at the side, and then I've got me in a smaller screen. And so I've sort of settled on that. So then within that, it's sort of easily doing the content. And then growing, and the idea is sort of if it fails, you can all watch me grow old, and that should at least be interesting, and you can watch my sort of slow demise. If I'm successful, I can be on there going, wow, look at this, somebody's sponsored. Oh, that's how I got to. Somebody's actually said they'll sponsor to have the channel name on the scroll for 5 videos. So that's in a year's time. Is well, that's the question. Where will I be in a year's time? And reporting on that. So that's where I want to be in a year's time, is reporting on something exciting that's happened, whether it's success or failure.
Yeah, and so I kind of decided over the course of the last few interviews of 2022 that I want to touch base with some creators a year later.
Brilliant!
And see where they are. I just think that would be really fun, and then go back over some of these same questions and see, how have things changed, or what surprised you, things like that. But now
I get the picture of how we looked a year earlier as we gradually get older.
That could be the best part of the video. So here comes the final question for the interview today. If you were stranded on an island, what 3 things would you want to have with you?
Oh my goodness gracious! I'd have Does this island have food?
Yeah, there are no rules about what you say. No rules.
Okay, right. Okay. Listen, I'm going to be practical because I'm a little bit of a prepper. I'm getting more and more interested in prepping. Follow 1 or 2 channels as well. And I've got a go bag in the house, which most people in the UK don't, unless they live in the big cities. So I'd have a flint to light fire.
Okay.
I'd have a good knife.
Okay.
And I would have third luxury item. I would have a wind-up radio with a torch on, because it's one of my favorite things that I own.
Okay.
And we went to somewhere down in Penzance to look at a nice parked on a beach, and we drove away, and I heard a crunch, and my little wind-up radio had fallen out of my car. I crushed into pieces, so I asked for another one for Christmas. So I obviously like my wind-up. You can wind it up to get a signal. It's got a little torch on. You can wind it up to charge the torch.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of solar power thing on the top. They're not very expensive. Why haven't I got an affiliate link to it on that?
Okay, yeah, right.
We're making money now.
Are you listening?
I got to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, a knife, a flint, and my wind-up radio / torch.
And I think that at least keep you entertained and fed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So, any questions for me? Any questions for anyone in the chat?
I want to say thank you to everybody for coming on and saying hi and being so nice in the chat. We have actually been reading it. I've been reading it as we've gone, and I'm going to play it back and say hello to everybody. What does Richard think? I've got a question. What does Richard think about you spending all this time doing YouTube? Does he think it's a good idea, or does he?
He's just surprised every day that it works.
I don't think
it's that
Mrs. Millionaire's going like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's that he didn't have faith in my ability, or I don't even think it's that he didn't think people would not enjoy the things here that we enjoy. But I just think he thought it was bigger than it is. You know, you talked about that earlier, and that it would just be too much, that there was just no way I could consistently, create
and that's what I'm grappling with.
And give people a reason to come back and give people a reason to subscribe. So
and your channel's growing, lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And he'll sometimes look at me and say, "Hey, we've got 1,800 and something subscribers now." And I'm thinking, I look at the number every day.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise to me. I look at the number every day, but he'll say it, and I can tell he's just surprised.
Yeah.
So I really think initially he thought it was just going to be a little flash in the pan thing. I would put up some videos, and I would either get tired of it, or nobody would watch, and then I would be discouraged. But I just feel like every day he's just surprised. He's just surprised. Oh, another subscriber. Oh, another channel member. What? So I hope he'll stay surprised. And because he's pleasantly surprised at how it's going, he doesn't pressure me to not spend time on it. So I do feel like, because again, I've gotten better at editing, so that's not taken up quite as much time. And because I go through these little spells where I'll upload, a week or 2 weeks worth of videos, then I don't have to spend quite as much time on it. And I still, I try to cook ahead. There'll be, on a Saturday, I might cook 2 or 3 meals and put stuff in the freezer so that, if I've had a busy day or I want to work on the channel, then at least he's not having to go without dinner because I was at the computer.
Oh, you mean he doesn't cook, Richard? Why aren't you cooking? I know he does all the ducks in the pond.
Yeah, he does make a dish that I've already told him I want to do a cooking video, because I've got a playlist of cooking videos, and I want him to make that. It's the only thing I can think of that he makes, and I think he saw it on TikTok or something, and he came home one day and said, "I'm going to try to make that," and I thought, okay, good, honey. It's delicious. It turns out great every time. And he likes it enough that I think he would cook it every night. But I don't
that's a man for you. We'll have the same thing every night if we like it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't like to eat the same thing every night. So.
Well, hello, Richard, if you're watching. Listen, I'm related to that about the time management thing then. How do you manage to watch other people's channels? How do you fit that in? That's a huge problem for me.
I borrowed a system from Weave's World. His channel is just Weave now. And I kind of go through so on one day of the week, I'll watch videos from the first 12 or 15 people on my subscription list. The next day, I'll go watch videos from the next 12 or 15 people on the list. And I just work my way through a little bit at a time.
I see.
If they don't have a new video. So there's a little tip. If you guys didn't know that when you go to YouTube, I'm going to pull up YouTube and show you guys what I'm talking about. When you go to YouTube, let me pull up my subscriptions. And I'll do a share screen. So I'll show you this too. So sometimes it's easier because I know I don't have to visit someone's channel because they don't have anything new since the last time I was there. But when you're at YouTube, along this left side where all the subscriptions are listed, these little red like sound icon things means that channel is live right now.
Oh, I get dots.
All of these
red live
things,
yeah.
Sorry, all of these red things are the Eagle cams that I watch. So these are the Eagle live streams. So that's why there's so many of those red things. And the system knows that I watch those more than anything. And that's why they're at the top of my subscription list, even though they're not, it's not alphabetical that way. But then when you get down to the non-Eagle channels, so here's Lee at First Floor Audio. He has a new video since the last time I visited. I think it's the video from either yesterday. Let's just look.
Yeah, he's so talented, isn't he, Lee?
The day before. So 17 hours ago, he posted another live stream. He performs for us several nights a week. Yeah. And so again, so I can go back and see, oh, look, they've got a new video since the last time I checked their channel. So whereas, let's see, let's find one that doesn't. Okay, so see, here's Barb's Country Home does not have a new video since last time I was there. And Bayou Bengal doesn't have a new video since last time I was there. So I don't have to go to those channels. Yeah. So I can just skip through and check out the ones. But I try to do 12 or 15 at a time because I have, 300 channels I think I subscribe to. Now, again, 25 of them I think are these Eagle channels. 25 or 30 are the Eagle channels. But so that helps. So that's my system, is that I just start in, every day of the week. And then I just make myself a note of where I stopped with the previous session. Now,
that's interesting, isn't it? If we're sitting here a year from today, if we've both grown as channels, which, is there an optimum point where you just can't keep doing that? So because you're not supporting other people, they stop supporting us back. Will we just hit a point where... No, it's interesting that you've managed to monetize within within the limit that you are already, but there must theoretically be a top point where you've got to be bringing people in who don't require us to watch them back so much, or presumably in your case, I suppose you don't need or want to get to that point because you can do enough with building your own community at this level.
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to ever just be like only live streams. To me, it's not as fun to go back after the fact and watch it. I mean, I say that, I guess it depends on the live stream. And I know a lot of people go back and watch these live streams, my Friday live stream. They go back and watch them.
I rarely watch lives live.
Long after they've gone live. But some of the live streams out there, it's not as fun for me if I wasn't there when it was happening. Whatever the activity was, it's like watching a video of people opening their Christmas presents instead of being there opening Christmas presents. So I like to have a mix of live streams here and there, and long videos and shorts and compilations, so that there's a reason for everybody to come back. Maybe they only like shorts, maybe they only like live streams, maybe they only like the cooking videos, maybe I don't think anybody ever comes because they like my songs, my cover songs, but maybe that's what brings it back. So I like to have
I'll fish one and let you know later.
Check that out. So I like to have a mix of things. Again, I've met a lot of people that support our channel now. I have met at other channels in other live streams. So Southern Mama and John Garner and Lisa Beck Bakeman that was here earlier. Dr. Lund, I know her from a couple of different channels, but there's a handful of people that I know from other channels. P-Hop, again, people that have become friends of mine and great supporters of the channel. And I met them chatting in another channel's live stream. And so again, there's another plug for doing live streams, is that you meet potential friends and people that will, become part of your YouTube family at your channel. So I can't encourage people enough to do
huge.
Yeah. Here's Adam. Adam says for you to be sure and check out the live I did interviewing Adam. It really was a fun day.
I will do.
Yeah, and David Hunt.
Won't be tonight. Won't be tonight.
David
probably
Hunt
next Thursday.
Someone else is live, and so now here he is.
So you actually put an hour a day aside for watching YouTube videos, basically?
Yes,
roughly.
Yes, yes. And depending on how busy I am, that may sometimes mean I have to run them at 1.5 times speed. To be
or in the head. I've got Bluetooth headphones, which are great for doing the washing up and cooking, and you can even hoover with Bluetooth headphones on, can't you?
Because obviously, if 12 or 15 people all put up a 45-minute video, I got to get through those. But I still like to keep up and be able to,
Lesson to all guys: make sure you put plenty of shorter videos on as well, so we can support. It's easier to support people with 5-minute videos than people with 35-minute videos. Honestly, my Bluetooth headset will last. I can go all the way to the bins with it. But I can't quite get to the compost heap without losing power, without losing signal.
Right. Hello, Bill at Warmstrong Adventures. Thank you for being here today. But so again. Any questions? Any other questions for me? Anyone in the chat?
No, that's it. So do you one final one? Do you watch television as well, or do you literally have no time to watch television?
I watch some television, but for me, like we don't have cable. We just have streaming services. So like I just finished watching. I think it was just five episodes in a series on Amazon. It's an Amazon original called Three Pines. It's a crime drama.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. We've got that on our Amazon. Yeah, I haven't watched it.
In Canada. It's French-Canadian town. I love that kind of stuff. So I do go through little spells where I'll binge a show. I'm a huge X-Files fan. So I go through periods, every other year or so. I watch that all the way through. But we don't have TV. And one of the reasons we got rid of cable is that we just don't watch a lot of TV. We like The Amazing Race.
So you don't have a TV? Do you have a TV, or do you just literally watch it on the computer screen?
Oh yeah, no, we have a TV. We have several TVs. Yeah. When I watch TV, it's on it's through the Xbox.
Yeah,
so
it's streaming.
To Amazon Prime and stream it, or Hulu, or whatever I'm watching, and watch shows there.
Well, the son and his fiance, they literally don't have a telly. They watch it. They're online all the time. It's all online.
Oh yeah. Well, then there are days if I'm working on a project, I'll have stuff playing on the computer while I'm, editing a video or uploading from my phone to the computer so that I can get it into the editing software.
I've got 2 screens here, so I've got quite good at watching a YouTube video on one whilst editing the software.
Yeah, and that's me. So I'm looking over here because that's the screen I use when I'm editing videos. So I'll be playing a crime podcast or something over here on the screen that I'm looking at now while I'm over here doing my edits or creating my thumbnails or whatever.
We're watching the Bernie Madoff one at the moment. I think that's Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite. It's okay. It's documentary style, but it's quite good.
Yeah. And then I just will randomly go through YouTube stuff. Again, Peter's channel at Lawyer is crime based.
Right, yeah.
And he does live streams where we talk about pretrial stuff and affidavits, and so we got into
the only time we've done that. We got into the Amber Rudd trial. We started following that on Law and Order channel. Johnny Depp and Amber Rudd.
Oh yeah,
last year. Yeah. We've never done it before. We've not done it since. Yeah. But every night we were getting home and watching the live stream on YouTube on the Law and Order channel.
Yeah. That's and that's where again I met
unexpected.
Peter
It just
Kringles,
happened.
and a lot of these people that have become my friends was over at his channel during that Amber Heard Johnny Depp.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
But that fits with the kind of stuff that I like to watch anyway. I love all the British crime shows, Midsummer Murders and Endeavour and Grantchester, and I love all of those old shows. So when I come across a new one, I just tend to binge it. I'll just sit down and spend a whole day and not.
We're the same. Yeah, we're the same. Yeah, we can sit down at 2 and still be there at 10. Yeah,
make sure I've got something to drink all day and just not.
The dogs are looking at you, going, "I want to go out. I want to go out."
yeah. That's the only thing that disrupts it. But thank you again for being on the show.
You're welcome. It's 9:30 p.m. here in the UK, so
yes.
I think my wife's gone to bed already. So
yes, well, thank you again.
We're up early tomorrow.
Friday night to us, and I will be excited. We're going to go over all of the channel subscriber counts for my member channels and guests on the show. So you're forever now going to be on my little spreadsheet, and we'll be celebrating as your numbers climb.
Oh, that's good publicity. My plan is to go and work through. I've only done one or two of them, but to go and just literally work through the list.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's finding the time. When I do that, I grow subscribers, but I just finding the time to go and just say hello to people because they always come back.
I just think at some point you kind of fall into the little magic routine. It just sort of starts coming together, and then it's you just coast along, and you just have to devote a little bit of time every now and then toward keeping it new and keeping it fresh and giving people a reason to come back.
It's been great talking to you, Kathy. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Less than a year ago, I would have been too shy to film myself. Never mind do something live. Gosh,
no, this was great. You did great. Yeah. So hang out in the chat if you'd like. Again, we're going to go over some. We're going to go over some stats.
Bye, everyone.
And I will see you at your channel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll do a live stream one day.
Try it.
give me 6 months. Give me 6 months.
You don't have to do it after the first one.
Guys, come over to Millionaire Paul. Say hello sometime.
Yes. Thanks, Paul. All right. So before we get out, I did want to share some more Did You Knows and On This Day, because that was fun for me last week. And I know I've gotten some feedback that you guys enjoyed that as well. So let me give you a few little pieces of worthless trivia that you may or may not need one day if you find yourself on an episode of Jeopardy, maybe. But here's a couple more Did You Knows. Let me get to my list. Did you know professional cheesemakers are studying if music can change the taste of cheese? Here's one for you, David Hunt, right? My musical friend in the chat. Sweet dreams are made of cheese. I guess I should have sung that, right? Sweet dreams are made of cheese. Swiss cheesemaker Beat Wampfler plays songs from bands like Led Zeppelin and A Tribe Called Quest during his cheese producing process, and with the help of students from the University of the Arts in Bern, he's studying to see if and how music can change the flavor of his Emmental cheese. So, did you know? Who knew that? Did you know Loch Ness contains more fresh water than all of England's lakes combined? Located in Scotland, Loch Ness holds more fresh water than any other British lake at a volume of 7,452 cubic meters. If any lake could hold a mythical dinosaur-like monster, it's this one. And I have been on Loch Ness. I've taken the tour on the boat looking for Nessie. Of course, we didn't see her. The water was so choppy that day. In fact, that day, I got elected to drive. We rented a car. We just got in groups. We rented a car. And since the steering wheel is on the opposite side of the car, because you drive on the opposite side of the road there, and since I was born left-handed and use my left hand for a lot of things, I got elected to drive, because that means the stick shift, for whatever reason, it was a standard transmission. The stick shift is on the left. So I drove to I think we were in Inverness, and I drove, and we went to the place where we did our little tour. So there's a little tidbit about me. 2 tidbits. I was born left-handed, and I drove a stick shift car in Inverness. Did you know wombat feces are cube-shaped? So a wombat is kind of like a big rat-looking thing. I guess I could pull up a picture of a wombat. Let me find a picture of a wombat for you. I mean, I think they're cute, but you guys know I love all animals, so that shouldn't come as any surprise. Okay, here's, it kind of looks like a combination teddy bear, guinea pig. Okay, here's a wombat. There's a wombat. Wombats have, oh, David Hunt saw you back there, Richard, so hello from David. Wombats have cube-shaped feces, known for being adorably cute. Oh, I can take that off now. Known for being adorably cute, the wombat is also known for producing around 80 to 100 pieces of excrement each night, and no one knows why it's cube-shaped, or no one knew why it was cube-shaped. Then in 2018, researchers found that the Australian animal's intestines are made up of stretchy and stiff sections that create the cubing during the digestive process. Did you know? Yeah, I told him. He said hi. He said hi, David. Let's do another Did You Know? Did you know the youngest Olympian was 10 years old? According to official Olympic records, the youngest athlete to win an Olympic medal was Greek gymnast Dimitrios Loundras, who finished third at the 1896 Olympic Games when he was 10 years old. Who knew? You want another one? Let's do one more. Oh, did you know there's a planet that's shaped like a potato? About the same size as Pluto, the dwarf planet Haumea orbits the sun beyond Neptune and has rings that are similar to Jupiter. But what makes this object even more interesting is that it's shaped like a potato. And I just happen to have, oh, I thought I had a picture of it. Let me find you a picture. It really does look like a potato. Now, what I don't know is if this is one of those composite images or if it's an actual picture, because I know we have probes that go and take pictures. But here's a picture of Haumea, the potato planet. Originally designated 2003 EL61 and nicknamed Santa by one Discovery team, Haumea is located in the Kuiper Belt, a donut-shaped region of icy bodies beyond the orbit of Neptune. The other known dwarf planets in the Kuiper Belt are Pluto, Eris, Makemake, and the dwarf planet Ceres is located in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. So I guess it's not in the Kuiper Belt. There's Haumea, the potato planet. And now let's do some on this day. On this day, January 13th, in the year 532, Nika riots begin in Constantinople, which, did you know, is the current modern-day city of Istanbul. So the biblical city of Constantinople is now the city of Istanbul. So in 532, Nika riots begin in Constantinople, a revolt against Byzantine Emperor Justinian I that leaves half the city burned and thousands dead. The riots were prompted by the failed execution of chariot racing supporters and only stopped after Empress Theodora refused to flee, forcing her husband to act decisively. Does that or does that not sound like a Game of Thrones kind of a scene or something? That's a movie waiting to happen right there, right? So on this day in 1605, the controversial play Eastward Ho by Ben Jonson, George Chapman, and John Marston is performed, landing two of the authors in prison. Now I want to see that. I got to see that play now. On this day in 1733, James Oglethorpe and 130 English colonists arrived at Charleston, South Carolina. On this day in 1794, Congress changed the U.S. flag to 15 stars and 15 stripes. Let's see what else we have. On this day in 1842, Dr. William Brydon, a surgeon in the British Army during the First Anglo-Afghan War, becomes famous for reputedly being the sole survivor of an army of 16,500 when he reaches the safety of a garrison in Jalalabad. So I don't know that name. On this day in 1874, U.S. troops land in Honolulu to protect the king. On this day in 1898, Émile Zola publishes his open letter J'accuse, accusing the French government of framing Alfred Dreyfus for sabotage. Now let's get something a little more current. On this day in 1930, Mickey Mouse comic strip first appears. On this day in 1942, German U-boats begin harassing shipping on U.S. East Coast. On this day in 1942, also, Henry Ford patents a method of constructing plastic auto bodies. On this day in 1964, John Paul II, whose real name is Karol Wojtyla, I know I didn't say that right, becomes the Archbishop of Krakow. On this day in 1973, Lars Daniel Efskind skates a world record 1,000 meters in 1 minute, 17.6 seconds. I'm guessing that's 1 minute, y'all. It wouldn't be an hour to skate 1,000 meters, right? Oh, I'm having to think on my feet. Let's see what the most current one is. And then we're going to get to some channel stats before I turn you guys loose. And then I had another thing I wanted to show you. On this day in 2022, I'm going to read it like it's written. It sounds funny to me. On this day in 2022, Australian equals hottest temperature on record. I think it just means Australia. Australia equals hottest temperature on record of 50.7 degrees Celsius, which is, did you know, 123.26 degrees Fahrenheit in Onslow, Western Australia. The record hottest temperature, 123.26 degrees. Now, I know Gerald used to tell us when he was in Afghanistan, and keep in mind that when these troops are in war, in the desert, in the hot places, I think that's a 23, right? And I think he told us it would be like 120 degrees. And again, they're carrying 50, 75 pounds or more in their packs, and they're in the boots and the long sleeve fatigues and hats. I mean, I can't imagine, because it's all I can stand to go out in a tank top and shorts barefooted to tend to the animals in the summer here when it's 107 degrees. So let's see. And then also, not so good. Also on this day in 2022, Britain's Prince Andrew was stripped of his military titles and royal patronages by Buckingham Palace amid continuing sexual assault allegations. And then the final one here, on this day in 2022, the landmark conviction of former Syrian intelligence officer Anwar Raslan for state-sponsored crimes against humanity happened in Koblenz, Germany. So there's some did you knows? Yeah, so Adam is looking up that cube-shaped poop right now, y'all. Right, Adam? So there was a little combination of did you knows with on this day. Let's do our channel stats, and then we're going to spin for channel of the week. Let me share my screen. I think everybody grew. I don't think anyone lost subscribers, but let's see. All right, so let me do it this way. So this is bigger. I'll have to move that. Over. Runneth Over Garden and Life. Nina and Boyce, our Texas neighbors, are at 811 subscribers today. There's Stephen. Hey, Stephen at Papa's Kitchen. Thanks for being here today. Ordered Steps is holding on to that 196 subscribers. My friend Akashi Chris at Mind Fork is at 309 subscribers today. My friend Byron at 12 Stones Ranch is holding on to his 1,810 something subscribers. My friend Joe Hupp in Australia is holding on to his 284 subscribers. My friend Cassie at Forensic Mystics is at 427 subscribers today. My friend Nick, another Texas neighbor of ours, is at 611 subscribers today. That's multi-hunter 24/7. My friend Weave across the pond is holding on to the 3,100 something. I don't know if I just put that one in last week without realizing it, or if he did lose a handful of subscribers. Yeah, see, I told you. He's going to be going down that rabbit hole, looking up the square poop. You report back to me next week if you learn about any other animals with oddly shaped feces. My friend Tiffany at Madamascara Homestead is at 419 subscribers today. My friends Devin and Ryan at Our New Land, Texas neighbors of ours, are at 845 subscribers today. My friends Jesse and Lisa are holding on to the 1,270 something subscribers today. I think they're going to take you guys along on their road trip to New Orleans coming up here in the next 2 or 3 days. So be watching for that. My friend Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead has crossed the 500 subscribers mark. She's at 506 subscribers today. I think she actually crossed over that 500 mark like 3 or 4 days ago. I remember seeing the post. I just don't remember what day it was. My friend Robin at What the Flock is at 391 subscribers. My friend Lee at First Floor Audio, another friend from across the pond, another great musician. Check out his live streams, is at 678 subscribers today. My friend Katie at Mayfield Ranch, a nice little jump there. She's at 589 subscribers today. My friend Rich at Rich New Design is at 305 subscribers. So he did lose a couple of subscribers. Again, there are only a couple of shorts going out here or there. So I think he's still facing some hardware issues that have kept him from doing videos and live streams. My friends Jeff and Lorena at Back to Country Homestead are at 528 subscribers today. They're also Texas neighbors of ours. Ronnie and Brittany, their channel name is now Ronnie and Brittany and then parenthesis RB Story. I just forgot to change it on here. They're at 546 subscribers today. Check out that channel and her theloofalady.com website for some great products. My friend Ashley at CNC Farm just continues to astound and amaze me at her growth. She's at 919 subscribers today. So let's check her out, help her get closer to that 1,000 mark. My friend John at Home Bartending with John, he was in the chat earlier. Not sure if he's still here now. He's at 228 subscribers today. My friend Vicki Lund at Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund is at 754 subscribers today. My friend Adam Sky in the chat, although he may be distracted by his poop search right now, is at 137 subscribers today. My friend Dino at the Late Late Horror Show is at 97,400 something subscribers today. My friend Nancy, I skipped. My friend Dawn Ray B is at 394 subscribers today. My friend Jen at Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve is at 670 subscribers today. My friend Nancy at Our Treasured Home is at 784 subscribers today. Fat Ninja DM's channel, again, Fat Ninja passed away on the 19th or so of the 19th of November. He's at 466 subscribers today. My friend David, Texas friend of ours at Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion, is at 1,760 something subscribers today. My friend Peter Tragos, that lawyer you know, is at 176,000 subscribers today. My friend Stephen at Pawpaw's Kitchen is at 278 subscribers today. My friend Ralph at Webb's Web is at 134 subscribers today. My friend Amanda at Bare Bones Living is at 607 subscribers today. My friend Danielle at Danny Days Ahead is at 724 subscribers today. She's had some bad weather. That stretch of tornadoes and things that have been in the Alabama area today has hit her. She's planning to be on that trip to New Orleans that Jesse and Lisa are taking. So send some prayers that she stays safe and that she'll still be able to enjoy that. My friend John at Pedroza Travel, who was in the chat a little while ago from Mexico, where he is currently having a vacation, a trip. is at 664 subscribers today. My friend Angela at the Inquisitive Farm Wife hit 1,000 subscribers today. She was at, I think, 994 mid-morning or maybe earlier this morning. I know she posted about it, wondering if today would be the day. When I checked her stats for my spreadsheet, she hit 1,000. So celebrations there. I need to find a little sound effect I can play for when we have a friend hit 1,000 subscribers. Then we did our holidays and catch up stream last week. Today, Millionaire Paul, he was at 140 subscribers last week. He's at 145 today. And then my friend Tom Salta, my Geezer Gamer brother, another exceptionally gifted musician, is scheduled to be on the show next week. He's holding on to 763 subscribers. If he has to bump it just because of meetings and deadlines and things, he writes gaming music. Like that's what he does full time for a living. He's an award-winning artist who writes video game music. Amazing video game music. I mean, he writes other music too, but that's what he's famous for. So he's scheduled to be on the show next week. If he has to bump it to the next Saturday, my friend Beth at Southern Mama will be our guest next week. And maybe we can talk Logan into popping on the screen. That's her son. He has a channel here on YouTube as well. I didn't think to go ahead and add you to the list here, Beth. So I'll get you added. So it'll either be Tom next week and then Beth, Southern Mama the following week, or vice versa. So a guy from Massachusetts. Okay. So let me make sure I haven't missed anyone coming into the chat. All right, so we've done our channel stats. Before we spin for channel of the week, though, let me show you this. I don't remember if I showed this to you or not. Did I show you this, guys? Let me take that banner off of there. Except let me put this banner up. If you'd like to be a guest on the show and do an interview so I can introduce you to my viewers, some potential new viewers and subscribers for your channel, send me a... Oh, yeah. David Hunt, where did you go? Let me see. Did I not have you on there, my Christmas stream? Let's go back to David Hunt. Oh, that was right. Google Docs. Oh, I got to sign in here. Okay, let's find David. I may have taken that Christmas stream off. Oh, I may have cleaned off the wrong thing. So I meant to take this off because there's no stats there, and I accidentally took you off. So let's just, honey, hop down. So let's look at David Hunt's channel right now, who blessed us with, babies, some music and some wisdom on my Christmas stream. Bear with me. I'm going to pull up his channel. All right. Here comes David Hunt. David Hunt is at 484 subscribers. I would have to go back and watch now that video to remember where you were before today. Oh, and here's a little note from M&T Living and Cooking, very close to the 400 subscriber mark. So again, I encourage all of you, all these channel names you see in my chat, the channels that we talk about on our spreadsheet, please give them a visit. Please go show them some love. And if you want to be on the show, if you'd like to be interviewed at some point, send me an email. I would love to have you on the show. And now let's go to, again, this Chat GPT. I don't remember if I showed this to you guys in a previous video or not. If I did, I know I have some people that are new that maybe didn't see it when I was here before. But it's still in beta mode. So they're still just researching. It's still in the research and development phase. I haven't used it yet, except to put it on my list to use. But let me show you what I did, and you can virtually ask it anything. So here's one thing I did do. Yes, I have used it. When I did the for my Christmas, my 12 days of Christmas, one of the 12 days of Christmases I did was Peter and the Wolf. I shared Peter and the Wolf with you guys. I created a visual interpretation of the story. And yes, I created that. You won't find it anywhere else on YouTube. And then just downloaded the audio file for the orchestral performance of the piece. But I came here to ChatGPT and asked it to write me a synopsis of the story of Peter and the Wolf. So what you see in the description for that video, this AI wrote for me. Did the same thing with the Beverly Hillbillies Christmas episode that I shared as part of our 12 days of Christmas. Hello, Carlene. Thanks for being here today. And it wrote that synopsis for me. So it's kind of scary sometimes to think about what computers can do. But at the same time, if we can master how to use them to our advantage, then that's why they were created. So here's one thing I did. I'm going to list 5 ideas for videos about German. Oh, that bugs me if I don't capitalize. German Shepherd dogs. I do think it expects me to type it right. Oh. Let's refresh. I may have had this open too long. List 5 video ideas for German Shepherd dogs. Check this out. Look what this computer's doing. Can y'all see that? Number 1, training and obedience. Showcase the versatility. The versatility and trainability of German Shepherds by highlighting different training techniques and exercises such as basic commands, agility, training, and protection work. Number 2, grooming and care. Provide tips and guidance on how to groom and care for German Shepherd, including proper bathing, brushing, and nail trimming techniques. Number 3, history and breed characteristics. Explore the history of the German Shepherd breed and highlight some of their key characteristics such as loyalty, intelligence, and protectiveness. Number 4, activities and sports. Demonstrate some of the fun and exciting activities that German Shepherds can participate in, such as herding, tracking, and Schutzhund protection, which is protection work. Now you know, there's a new word. And number 5, living with a German Shepherd. Offer a glimpse into what it's like to live with a German Shepherd, including tips on how to manage their energy levels, socialize them with other dogs and people, and provide them with enough mental and physical stimulation. So I will tell you that I have done a number 5. Before this ChatGPT thing was even invented, we do have a Life with German Shepherd Dogs. I think that's what it's called, video on the channel. But the point of this is that you can literally type anything into this search here. So if you have a homestead channel, if you have a cooking channel, if you have a music channel, gaming channel, whatever, you can tell it list 5 ideas for videos on whatever it is. Or you can say, write me a review of the book, The Lord of the Rings, whatever. Let's try that. Oh, look, that was right there. Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien is a timeless masterpiece of fantasy literature. The story follows Hobbit Frodo Baggins as he embarks on a perilous journey to destroy the One Ring and defeat the Dark Lord Sauron. Along the way, he's joined by a fellowship of unlikely heroes, each with their own unique strengths and motivations. So it'll literally do anything for you. So the purpose of this, obviously, is not to solely rely on this to come up with ideas and create things, but it can help spark ideas. And maybe if you've kind of got an idea, but you're just not sure what to call it, there's another thing. So I'm going to stop generating. Let's see. List 5 titles about, for videos. Sorry, y'all have to watch me with my crummy typing. Videos about baking cakes. Let's see what it does. So I asked it to list 5 titles for videos about baking cakes. This app is called Chat. Let me type it in the thing. Chat GPT. I'll make sure if it's not. I don't know if there's a space between those or not. Oh, so it's thinking. I don't know if sometimes, because it does this to me sometimes, and I don't know if there's lots of people on it, or you may just have to let it sit. Sometimes I just start over if I don't want to wait. But you can. That was a dog, Adam, playing in a crate. So we keep a crate up because they like to go in and have, a little private place where they can chew on an elk antler or something. And I think you were hearing them stomp around in that crate, moving around in that crate. Here we go. So now it's generating some titles. Number 1, mastering the perfect vanilla cake. Tips and tricks for a light and fluffy crumb. Number 2, baking a show-stopping chocolate cake from scratch to frosting. From scratch to frosting. 3, easy and delicious cake recipes for beginners, a step-by-step guide. So if you're stuck on a title, I know that's one thing that does hold me back sometimes. I want to have something that's kind of catchy. I think you can you tell it like, give me a catchy title. Give me a catchy title for a video about, I don't know, banana pudding, whatever. I don't know why I said that. I guess I'm in the mood for banana pudding. So Chat GPT, I'm going to type that in the search engine here to see. OpenAI is the website. Chat GPT. Can y'all see that? Chat GPT, optimizing language models for dialogue. Well, it doesn't look like where I was. Oh, here we go. Try Chat GPT. So from that screen, from that main screen there, then I hit that try Chat GPT. It's free. You do have to sign in with an email. You have to create a little account with an email. I just sign in with the Google account, my Google account, the same one I use for YouTube. And then it's free to use. It'll save your last X number of searches, and then you can periodically go through and clear them out. So I haven't played with it enough to know exactly what all it will do, but it'll do a lot, and it will definitely help give you some motivation and inspiration for ideas or titles. So check that out. Have fun with it, and I'm sure they'll appreciate having more people use it and potentially be able to offer feedback, or they can see what kind of searches people do most often. But we're going to end the show by spinning for our channel of the week. Again, if you're new to my channel of the week gives you an opportunity to do a couple of different things. See the kind of channels that I watch, meet again some new people that I'm connected to here. Sometimes it might be a guest that's been on the show or a channel member. I don't have all my Eagle channels on it because that would just be a big number of channels. Just know that I watch a lot of Eagle Nest live streams. I do want to share that in the middle of the last couple of weeks with Richard being sick and me not having a whole lot of time for much besides animal care and chores, I didn't keep up with my nests. Harriet and M15 in Fort Myers, Florida at the Southwest Florida Eagles channel had their eaglets hatched. So they have 2 new eaglets. Again, it's a wonderful story because they lost their nest in Hurricane Ian. They had to rebuild from scratch. And again, Hurricane Ian happened like in September, which is when eagle season starts. So in September is when they're typically doing their nestorations. They're tidying up and, adding little sticks in case some sticks have fallen so the babies don't fall out of the nest. They had to rebuild the whole nest. The cameras were damaged, so it looked for a while like we wouldn't get to watch this season. But by whatever means, by whatever miracle, the camera was not damaged so much that they couldn't get it back online. So we've been able to watch E21 and E22 are happy, healthy little eaglets. There has not been too much bonking going on. If you watch eagle nests, you know what I mean. They really can put each other through the ringer, fighting for food and attention even from just day-old little babies. So they were hatched a couple days apart. That's pretty typical in the eagle world. But they're doing great. So crossing fingers. Been lots of sadness at a lot of the nests I watched in the last couple of seasons. But Harriet and M15 have a great story. It's a wonderful nest. You learn a lot. Be prepared. There are some sad things that happen, and sometimes it's happening live on the camera while you're watching. So just prepare your heart. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, it's a wonderful, beautiful glimpse into nature and wildlife. And these birds are amazing creatures. They are fierce, but they are tender. They're loving. They're great parents. They're great protectors. They persevere. They're very dedicated and loyal to each other. So on and on about the eagles. The whole reason I don't have them on the list is not take up too much time. And then I did that. But we're going to spin for channel of the week. You can see, again, some of the things that I enjoy watching and meet potentially some other channels that you can check out. Hog Deer 79. So this is Gail's. This is Southern Gail's. I think this is a cousin of hers. And a lot of, he's a taxidermist. So a lot of very interesting and fascinating videos on the process of preparing an animal for that. So again, be prepared if you're not into, I don't want to say blood and guts, but there can be some blood and things as he's, preparing the animal after the rest of it's been processed for meat or whatever's going to happen with it. So he does like the deer heads and stuff, but I just think it's a fascinating process. And I've never known anyone who did it. I've certainly never watched videos about it until I met Hog Deer here on YouTube. So there's a channel for you to check out. He talks about other things too. He fishes, he does other outdoor type things, but I just am really fascinated with his taxidermy work. So that's that. I want to take a minute to thank everyone who was kind and loving enough to support us by checking out our Amazon wish list and send us items. All of the items on the wish list are for the animals here. And especially in the middle of what was very stressful for me, and I was very tired, and my mind's going a mile a minute. I have gotten into the habit now. Hello, Mela Stacy. Thanks for being here. Of making myself go to bed early every night. The sad part of that is that I have not been hanging out at Dino's Late Late Horror Show channel as much lately. And I feel like I'm still kind of recovering from just the fatigue. I made a comment, I think Beth at Southern Mama and I were texting on the phone yesterday. And I didn't know, am I just tired because I really have been busy? I've just been busier because Richard was down for almost 2 weeks. I guess it was 2 weeks. And so, animal care and chores and our clients' horses and things were my responsibility. So I was just so fatigued. I wanted to sleep. I felt like I needed to sleep. So I'm going to try and hold on to that and not be quite so much a night owl. My routine has always been I like to stay up late. I can't really say I sleep late because the dogs wake me up to eat. When the dogs are hungry, the dogs have to be fed. So it's not even that I can go to bed late and then sleep late. And so I don't want to jeopardize my health by not adopting probably a more realistic sleep schedule. But in the middle of all of that, when there were days that I was almost in tears already because I was just really tired, I was worried about him. So, there's a big factor there. So there was no way to escape all of the stress. We got our first package. And then packages just kept coming. So I think we probably got 6 or 7 deliveries from friends who sent us gifts off the wish list for the animals. Oddly enough, all of it was stuff that we needed it. I was going to have to go and make a trip. At some point, I was going to have to go out and buy this stuff because we needed it. So I was really moved by that. When I first created that wish list, I don't think I expected that it was going to be like an emotional thing to get it. I knew I would be excited and appreciative, but it was very emotional for me because it felt like the virtual equivalent of, you got a friend who's sick, and so you go and take them you go take them some chicken soup, right? That's what it felt like I was being ministered to, like someone was offering me some healing and some re-energizing for my spirit, because my spirit was just down and I was really tired. And you guys just absolutely turned so many things around for me by doing that. I hope it was a simple thing for you. And we've got lots of different price ranges of the stuff there. I know not everybody can afford to do, $50 bag of dog food, or I think that's the most expensive thing on there. So the dogs thank you. I thank you. Richard thanks you. And it's just another reminder to me of what YouTube means to me and what my purpose is here, because I want to have real relationships with people. I have nothing against the channels that, they do pranks or they do product reviews or whatever, and that's all they do. Probably even shouldn't say that, because I don't want anybody to interpret what I'm saying to mean that I have a thing about that. Those are all still great things. I enjoy that stuff from time to time as well. But I want more connection than that. I want to share what's happening in my life, what's happening in my mind. I want to share my talents with you. I want to share the good stuff that happens. I want to share when things aren't so good here. Because that helps me. So maybe there's a selfish motivation there, but I just can't get over. And again, the timing of that, when it was so stressful here, to have had such a bright spot, you guys are bright spots for me anyway. But every time, the dogs would bark, so the dogs would carry on to let me know somebody had been on the porch. A leaf can't blow by without the dogs letting me know that something is near the porch. And so I would look out to see, and there would be the UPS truck or the Amazon truck pulling out of the driveway, and there would be a package on the door. So I really think like 6 days in a row, there were packages being delivered. So you guys just made such a huge difference. You make a huge difference for me every day, but especially these last couple of weeks, you have just reminded me of how blessed I am, and how loved I am, and how supported we are, Richard and I, and our channel. And to me, that's what it's about. That's what I need from YouTube. That's what I want to offer to all of you through YouTube. So I'll say it again. If any of you ever, if you need me, if you need someone to talk to, if you need somebody to cry to, if you need somebody to vent to, if you need somebody's brain to pick, if you need encouragement, if you need me to pray with you, send me a note. You can always reach me by email, that email address that I put up earlier. Let me put it up again. Or you can reach us on Instagram. We are RichKat_Ranch on Instagram. I get lots of notes and messages that way. And we're on Facebook, RichKatRanch on Facebook, RichKat with a space, Ranch on Facebook. And I'm happy to return all of the love and support and encouragement in any way I can. So you just have to let me know, and don't be afraid of it. No points off. If things aren't as rosy in your life as you want them to be, or you want us to think they are, it's not a bad thing. And nobody is meant to do this alone. This is not this journey here. I like my alone time, and there's lots of times that I would love to just be, at a dark sky park living and not having to interact with anybody but the animals around me. But that's not how it's meant to be. God didn't create us to be alone, and it's fine to have alone time. But I just want you guys to all know I'm here if you need me, whenever. I'm home all day. I mean, I'm retired. I don't have to be away at a job. So day or night, whatever time, let me know if I can help, because you guys have helped me more than these words are conveying. I know it. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I'm so excited to see new names in the chat today. I'm so excited that we got Paul on the channel. I knew from the very first video of his that I watched that he is someone I want to be associated with. I want to keep up with him. I want to celebrate with him as he's making this journey. And I want all of you to help me encourage him and help him grow. And we all celebrate together. Everybody wins. There's room for everyone at the top. This is not a competition. YouTube is not a channel competition where one guy gets to be up at the top and no one else is allowed to have that kind of success. Everybody can have that success. When I see these numbers, some people might be intimidated when you see Dino's numbers, Peter's numbers, even Weave's numbers, some of these channels that have, thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You might be tempted to think, well, I'll never be there. That'll never be my channel. And maybe that's true. And maybe for some of us, that's not the goal. But I'm telling you, they all started where we are. They all started with 100 subscribers at one point, and woo, they were so excited about that. They celebrated that. Then they were at 500 subscribers. Everybody goes through those same processes, but it just has to do with being willing to share yourself with people, because that's, to me, that's the difference, is what they share with us does something for us. It does something for me. I get out of those channels what I need in various ways: entertainment, education, community, support, encouragement. Again, I go into these chats. We know each other in the chats. We ask about each other when we're sick. We pray for each other. Those content creators, those big content creators, that's how they got there, because they care about their chatters. They care about their supporters, and they share what those people need when they need it. So just, there's the little ending for the show today, is there's room at the top for all of us. We can help each other get there. Again, we're not meant to do it alone. That includes YouTube. And I just appreciate all of you. Obviously, we are looking toward that 2,000 subscriber mark. That is very, very close for us. In the grand scheme of things, it's not the number that means anything. For me to feel like I feel about all of you and about my channel and what I do here and how much I enjoy it, that's what it's about. But because I enjoy it, because I feel like I have something to share, and I have gifts and talents I want you guys to enjoy along with me, I think that's what makes channels grow. Because again, there's connection through that. So I want to be here for you guys too. You're here for me. You've been here for me. Some of you for a long time. Some of you are new. I'm thrilled every time I see a new name. You guys know, I've said it before, I'm always tickled that anybody shows up for a live stream. If I had one person in my live stream, I would still be just as grateful to have one person that actually came to the live stream. But when I have a nice, wonderful batch of people that join me every Friday and they bring their friends, somebody will tell me, I'm here because of so-and-so. That's just the most heartwarming feeling. So combining that with the gifts you guys have been sending, like the physical Amazon wishlist gifts you've been sending, and all of the cards and texts and phone calls and Instagram messages and Facebook messages that we have been getting, that's what it's about. I want all of you to experience that. I want everybody that's hearing me say this right now to have the opportunity to feel what I'm feeling right now and what I've been feeling for a long time, but it's just really been enhanced these last couple of weeks. So I love you all. I appreciate you all. I thank you all. I look forward to the next live stream. It's still kind of slow in getting videos up, but I've got some fun ideas, I think, coming up. If you ever have a request for a video, if there's something about our little homestead that you're curious about and you'd like for me to make a video about it, or if there's a recipe and you're wondering if I know how to cook it, I am so happy to jump on any ideas you can offer me by asking me to focus on that. So have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, be happy, be well, be blessed. And I will see you on the next live stream. I'll leave the chat open for a little while after I leave the screen again, because I love to watch you guys saying your goodbyes to each other. And I think that's it. I love you. Bye.